A very good evening, student. This is a video lecture on the head of the pancreas. This is an important organ. The head of the pancreas is the most important, as the head of the pancreas is the site for the cancer, which leads to a lot of complication because many important structure, for example, inferior vena cava, the portal vein, and the bile duct, they are very closely related to the head of the pancreas, and this leads to the lot of complications when the cancer of the head of the pancreas takes place. So the head of the pancreas is an important organ, and usually asked as a short note or a question, So the question is, describe the head of pancreas, its blood supply, lymphatic drainage and applied importance. So let us see first the introduction for this. You sit with your pencils, color pencils, and start drawing, and writing the notes. Introduction. Pancreas consists of both exocrine and endocrine glands. Within the same organ, there is a presence of the exocrine gland, which secretes the digestive juice for the digestion of the food. While the endocrine pancreas pours its secretion into the blood vascular system, that is into sinusoids and capillaries. And this part of the endocrine part of the pancreas secretes mainly the insulin and glucagon. Now this pancreas is a very soft gland, which has shows the lobulations, and this gland is transversely placed near the posterior wall of the abdomen, and it is about 15 to 20 centimeter in length. So note down, it is 15 to 20 centimeter in length, and it is placed, if you see the location of this gland, after introduction, see the location of this gland. The location of this gland is retroperitoneal. That means it is behind the peritoneum, parietal peritoneum. As I said that it is transversely oriented in the posterior wall of the abdomen, and this is at the level of L1 and L2 lumbar vertebrae, L1 and L2 vertebrae. Now, if you see the parts of this pancreas, we will see that from right side to the left side, these parts are, in this diagram you can see, this is the concavity formed by the duodenum, the first part of the duodenum, the second part, the third part, and here is the fourth part of the duodenum, which will continue as the jejunum. So this is the duodenum. In the concavity of the duodenum, this is the head of the pancreas, neck of the pancreas, body of the pancreas, and this is the tail of the pancreas, which is close to that of the visceral surface of the spleen. Visceral surface of the spleen. So it has many parts: head, neck, body, and tail. Since we are here limiting our description to that of the head of the pancreas, we will not, learn about the neck, body, and the tail part of the pancreas. But you can see here in this diagram that the gland from right to the left means where spleen is present, and right means where it is the duodenum is present, and in the concavity of the duodenum the head is there. So from right to left it is divided into the 4 different parts, 4 different, and it is horizontally placed in front of the lumbar first and lumbar second vertebrae in the posterior abdominal wall, close to the posterior abdominal wall. Let us come to the head of the pancreas now. Now this is the right end of the gland. The head of the pancreas is the right end of the pancreas. And if you will see further, it is elongated and is present within the C-shaped curve of the duodenum. This is an elongated gland. In another diagram you see this is the duodenum, C-shaped duodenum. This is the colon, ascending colon, colic flexor, and the beginning of the transverse colon in front of the second part of the duodenum. This is a loop of the intestine which is related to the second and here third part of the duodenum. So many loops will come here. Just one is shown here. And then posterior to this head, the other structures which are seen here, place more posterior to the head is the inferior vena cava. And then there is a hook-shaped structure coming from the part of the head, inferior, and this is hook-like, hence it is called as uncinate process. And in front of this uncinate process, these are the two structures which are called as the superior, superior pancreatico-duodenal artery, not pancreatic, superior mesenteric vessels, that is vein and the artery. I'm sorry, my mind was somewhere else. Superior mesenteric vessel, that is superior mesenteric vein and superior mesenteric artery are there, which are lying just in front of this. And on the posterior side, this is the neck part, and behind the neck lies the aorta, while behind the head lies the inferior vena cava. So I was telling you about the head, description of the head. After this diagram, you have seen the orientation. Let us come back to the head. Now the head is elongated and is present within the C-shaped concavity of the duodenum, within the C-shaped concavity of the duodenum. It presents two surfaces, means head presents two surfaces, an anterior surface and a posterior surface. So there are two surfaces of the head, one anterior and one posterior surface of the head. Right. Then there are four borders, and the four borders are which? A superior border, here which you are seeing in relation to the first part of duodenum. Then there is an inferior border of the head which is in relation to the third part of the duodenum. Then you are seeing another border here which is called the right border, and this is in relation to the second part of the duodenum. And then there is a left border which will be in relation to the neck of the pancreas, so this is the neck part of the pancreas, so it will be in relation to the neck part of the pancreas. Now from the inferior part of the head, as I said, there comes a hook-like projection, from near the inferior border of the head or inferior part of the head, a small portion of the head, glands of the glandular portion of the head project as a hook-like process, which is called as uncinate process. See this? This process is the uncinate process, this hook-like structure here, uncinate process. Now this process runs towards the left, so from right it is, this process is running towards the left below the neck of the pancreas, below the neck of the pancreas. So the uncinate process is not the part of the neck, it is the part of the head, but it is running towards the left. That's why it lies below the neck. That's why it lies below the neck, right? And in front of this uncinate process, I told you these two vessels which lie, they are superior mesenteric vein and superior mesenteric artery. They are lying in front of the uncinate process, and then they disappear deep to the neck and the head, to go and open into this superior mesenteric vein will form this portal vein when it will unite with the splenic vein, and while this artery, that is superior mesenteric artery, will take origin from the anterior aspect of the this aorta, it will take origin from that of the aorta. So this is the head. So I told you that head is present within the concavity of the duodenum, C-shaped concavity of duodenum. It has two surfaces, anterior, posterior. It has four borders, superior, inferior, lateral, are right and left border, okay, right. And then it has a process what is called as an uncinate process, okay. So this is the description of the head. Let us come to the relation, anatomical relation of these head, okay. Relation of the head of the pancreas. Let us come first to the anterior relation, okay. We will see about the anterior relation of the head of the pancreas. Anteriorly, there is a superior mesenteric vessels which lie in front of the uncinate process. This superior vein and artery, superior mesenteric vein and artery, they will form the anterior relation of the head, okay, which are lying in front of the uncinate process, which is the part of the head, which is the part of the head. That is the anterior relation, the upper relation of the anterior surface of the head. Then there are the coils are more right or more towards the right. This part of the head is in relation to that of the coils of the jejunum, which is the first part of the small intestine after duodenum. After duodenum, this is the jejunum, okay. The duodenum is retroperitoneal, but the jejunum has the mesentery, so it can move. So these loops of the jejunum are seen in upper part, okay. Then it is the transverse mesocolon. Let us see here. I have drawn with the black pencil. This is the site for the attachment of the transverse mesocolon, by which this transverse colon is hanging, okay. And mesocolon is nothing but the double fold of the peritoneum, which hangs the transverse colon, and it gets attachment to the head, to the neck, and to the body of the pancreas, where this transverse colon gets attachment to the posteriorly to that of the pancreas. So this indicates the attachment of the transverse mesocolon, okay. So that is related, okay. Is from its attachment down below, the part of the pancreas is in relation to the, so there are three different relation on the anterior surface. From left to right, if we go, it is the superior mesenteric vein and artery which lies in front of uncinate process, then the coils of jejunum, and anteriorly the head is also related to the transverse mesocolon, okay. This is where the anterior relation of the anterior surface of the head. Let us come to the posterior surface relation. How the posterior surface of the head is related to, which is this area. See this area, and what lies posterior to the head, and this is shown in this diagram. Let us have some orientation of this diagram. We are seeing the head from posterior aspect. In this orange color, I have drawn the head which lies in the concavity of the duodenum. So this is the part of the duodenum which we are seeing from the posterior surface, and this is the bile duct which is opening into the concavity of the second part of the duodenum, okay, on its medial border, okay. So this is the bile duct, common bile duct, CBD, common bile duct, or just simply call it as the bile duct, which opens here in the second part. This is the posterior aspect of the head of the pancreas in the concavity of the duodenum. This is the uncinate process is here, and you can see here these are the two great vessels. Inferior vena cava and more towards the left will lie the aorta, okay, which lies behind the uncinate process. So this is the aorta vein which lies directly behind the neck, behind the head of the pancreas, right. So what are the posterior relation? Let us see here the posterior relation. It is the common bile duct which is forming a groove. It may not be seen on the surface posterior, but it may be embedded in a groove of the pancreatic gland, okay. So this is the common bile duct which is in the groove of the posterior aspect of the head of the pancreas. Then directly on posterior aspect will be the inferior vena cava, and more on to the left side, just will be the aorta. Okay, abdominal aorta is there, which is in relation to the head of the pancreas. So these are the relation of the anterior surface and the posterior surface of the head of the pancreas. Okay, so this is the anterior and posterior relation of the, see, this are very important, and when I will teach you the applied anatomy for the head of pancreas, for the cancer or carcinoma of the head, these important relations, okay, you should keep in mind. Okay, you should keep in mind. Let us go to the next page, okay, where we will further learn other relations of the head of pancreas. And relation in the head of pancreas. Now we come to the borders relation, because I said there are 4 borders: superior border, inferior border, okay, right lateral border and a left border. Left border is continuation with that of the neck of the pancreas. So we will learn about the 3 borders: superior border, inferior border, and the right posterior border here. Okay, so I have shown in this diagram some of the relation along with the blood supply. Let us see the superior border, okay, which lies in relation to that of the first part of the duodenum. So the superior border of the head of the pancreas is related to the first part of the duodenum and superior pancreatico-duodenal artery. This is superior pancreatico-duodenal artery. Let us see the from beginning here. This is the aorta, okay, which lies posteriorly, most posteriorly. Then this is the celiac trunk, the first branch from that of the, I mean to say second branch, phrenic is first, but the major first branch from the anterior aspect of the abdominal aorta is the celiac trunk, which soon divide into 3 branches: the left gastric, splenic, and the common hepatic. This is the common hepatic, which divides into 2 branches here. That is the hepatic proper here, which will run upward and called as hepatic artery, okay, right to which will lie that of the portal, I mean say bile duct, and this 2 structure along with the portal vein will lie in the free margin of the free margin of the epiploic foramina. You can pass your finger deep to the and inside the epiploic foramina, and you can feel this 3 structure: hepatic artery, bile duct, and the portal vein just above the first part of the duodenum. So it is the same hepatic artery going upward, okay, and then it gives a branch here, common hepatic, which is called as the gastroduodenal artery, which runs behind the first part of the duodenum. See this? It is lying posterior to the first, and which will in the concavity of this duodenum and at the superior border of pancreas, this gastroduodenal will divide into 2 branches. One which will go towards left is the right gastroepiploic, and another which will follow the curvature of the duodenum is the superior pancreatico-duodenal. Thus this is superior pancreato, and why it is called? Because it lies between the pancreas and the duodenum and supplies the blood to the pancreas as well as to the duodenum. Hence it is called as superior pancreatico-duodenal, which is a branch of gastroduodenal. Gastro part goes as a right gastroepiploic part, okay, to the greater curvature of the stomach. Now this structures are related into this in relation to superior. What was the relation superior? It is the head of the pancreas and related to the first part of the duodenum, and then superior pancreatico-duodenal artery, right? Then we come to the inferior border of the pancreas, head of the pancreas. And this inferior border of the head of the pancreas naturally is related to the third part of the duodenum. It is related to this is third part of the duodenum and inferior pancreatico. This was superior pancreatico-duodenal. This is the inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery, which is a branch from superior mesenteric artery, and superior mesenteric artery takes its origin from the aorta, abdominal aorta, and then it lies in front of the uncinate process of the pancreas. Okay, so this is going here. Okay, this was occupied by the vein, that is the superior mesenteric vein. So this is the superior mesenteric artery, which gives a branch, the inferior pancreaticoduodenal, which forms a inferior relation of the head of the pancreas. Then the right lateral relation. Okay, and this part of the head of the pancreas is related to that of the second part of the duodenum. This is second part of the duodenum. This is related to the second part of the duodenum, right? And these two arteries, superior pancreaticoduodenal and inferior pancreaticoduodenal, here they divide into anterior and posterior branch. I have drawn boldly the anterior branch of both superior and inferior pancreaticoduodenal. Posterior runs behind the head of the pancreas on the posterior aspect. That's why it is drawn as the dotted line. So this is anterior and posterior superior pancreaticoduodenal, and here in the similar way it is the anterior and posterior of inferior pancreaticoduodenal. And these arteries, they anastomose with each other, and here you can see they are forming an arch along the concavity of the duodenum. So this is called as arterial arcades, and from this both anterior and posterior of superior and inferior, so many branches are coming out. These are going and supplying to the duodenum, as well as the medial branches, they are going and supplying to the head of the pancreas. Okay, head of the pancreas. Now if you see the uncinate process here, this uncinate process is related anteriorly to the superior mesenteric vessel, that means artery and the vein, and posteriorly it is related to the abdominal aorta. See this abdominal aorta? So uncinate process is posteriorly related to the abdominal aorta, not to the vena cava, okay, because it lies right of that, which is direct relation to the head of the pancreas, as I have shown you in this diagram here. Uncinate process is related to the aorta, but not to the inferior vena cava, which lies right of it, okay, and it is a direct relation of the head here. Okay, let us, after learning the borders, surfaces and relations of the head of the pancreas, let us come to the arterial supply, and I will use the same diagram for the arterial supply to the head of the pancreas, and I have already explained these arteries. Let us see what are the arteries which supply to the head of the pancreas. Naturally, superior and inferior pancreaticoduodenal arteries, which are dividing into anterior and posterior branches, which I have explained. They form the arterial arcade and supply the head of the pancreas. So this is the major supply, superior and inferior pancreaticoduodenal. Okay, so, right. Then there will be the venous drainage of the head is taking place to the portal vein and superior mesenteric vein. Here is the superior mesenteric vein will lie here, and deeply lie the portal vein. So the head is directly draining to the portal vein and to the superior mesenteric vein. Of course, superior mesenteric vein itself will open into the portal vein. Okay, lymphatic drainage of this. Okay, if you see the lymphatic drainage, you will see that this goes to the various group of the lymph node. There is a group of the lymph node which is close to the celiac trunk, and this is called as celiac group of lymph nodes. So lymphatics will go and drain into the celiac group of the lymph node. Then here is the pyloric part of the stomach. This is the first part of duodenum. Just here is the pyloric part of the stomach, and in that part also there are lymph nodes, what is called as pyloric nodes, and this will go to the pyloric nodes also, and the group of the lymph node which are located onto the surface of the superior mesenteric vein, and this is called as superior mesenteric nodes. So the lymph will also go to the superior mesenteric nodes from the head. So how many places it will drain? celiac group of lymph node, superior mesenteric group of lymph node, and then the pyloric group of the lymph node. So this is the lymphatic, which is important because of the cancer will spread first to these lymph nodes. Okay, it will go first to this lymph node. Let's come to the last portion of this answer on to the head of the pancreas, and this is the applied importance. I have chosen only the very important applied importance, two only. Acute pancreatitis, which is the inflammation of the pancreas following the viral infection, trauma, or any other injury or any other conditions which will lead to the inflammation in the pancreas. Okay, that is called as the acute pancreatitis, and acute means all of a sudden, and this condition arises acutely, means all of a sudden. Okay, chronic means which is slowly taking place. Okay, so acute pancreatitis is the severe inflammation of pancreas. As it is very soft, delicate gland, there will be the inflammation will be severe. And the most common cause of this infection is the viral infection, and that viral infection is the mumps. Okay, mumps infection, right? So this will lead to the, ultimately it will lead the acute pancreatitis. The patient will suffer from severe abdominal pain in epigastric region. Okay, epigastric region, there will be severe pain. It may follow by fever, nausea and vomiting. Okay, nausea and vomiting, that are the signs of the acute pancreatitis. Okay, so this is one of the important condition. Okay, in relation to the pancreas as such, not only the head but as the pancreas, because pancreatitis will not limit only to the head, it will spread to the other parts too. Now, but the second important condition which is limiting here to the head region is the cancer of the head of the pancreas. Okay, and again I said that this cancer is quite common cancer which will praise. Cancer means a tumor, and tumor means in large size of the head will take place. Okay, uncontrolled, I mean to say, growth of the tissue of the head pancreas will take place, and it will become a tumor, a mass, and this will start pressing to the neighboring area. And you have seen that the superior epigastric vein or superior mesenteric vein, as I mean to say, superior mesenteric vein will bring the blood from intestine, and then it passes to join the portal vein, and this along with that of the splenic vein to form the portal vein, and this union is taking place just in the head. Okay, so that this may press on to the portal vein, and portal vein is draining blood from where? Almost the whole of the intestine. Okay, that means through the superior mesenteric vein, through the inferior mesenteric vein, which opens into the splenic vein. Okay, so what will happen that because of the obstruction of the portal vein, the blood coming from intestine after the absorption of the food, water, etc. from the small intestine, from part of the large intestine, this will be venous drainage will interfere, and this vein will, I mean say, the blood will not pass to the liver and then to the inferior vena cava. It will start collecting within the mesenteries, abdominal intestine. Okay, and because of that, there will be lot of the fluid collection will take place. Serous fluid collection will take place in the peritoneal cavity, and the abdominal will bulge. Okay, because of swelling, because of collection of fluid in the peritoneal cavity, and this condition is called as ascites. The condition is called as ascites. Okay, because of the compression onto the portal vein. Okay, onto the, because of the cancer. Another condition which occur may be because of the compression to that of the duct, common bile duct will be compressed, which I said that will form a groove on the posterior aspect of the head of the pancreas before it opens into the second part of the duodenum. okay, at the major duodenal papilla inside, okay. So this duct, if is obstructed, then the bile cannot go into the intestine or second part of the duodenum, and then this bile will collect into the gallbladder will swell up, the bile duct will swell up, okay, that will dilate, and then this bile inside the liver will collect into the bile canaliculi and then will pass into the blood, okay. So the bile pigments may pass into the blood, and then the blood pigment level of the bile will increase, and then there will be this yellow pigment will keep on depositing onto the various places in body. So the condition is called as the jaundice, okay. This condition is called like a conjunctiva. Your eye will look yellow, your nails will start looking yellow, your skin will start because of the deposition of the bile pigment. That condition is called as the jaundice, and it is because of the cancer in the head of the pancreas which is pressing over the bile duct is called as obstructive jaundice, because this jaundice is not due to the infection of liver, which is the usual case of the viral infection of the liver where the jaundice takes place, okay. This is because of the obstruction, okay. So it is called as the obstructive jaundice. I think this completes a video on to the head of the pancreas, which is an important question, okay. So this was, I think I have covered almost all the part, and you are now will be able to write, okay, a question on to the head of the pancreas. Thank you very much for watching this video. The next video will be on portal vein and its applied importance.